Right. Let's get this over with.
1 hour later.
Howdy, all. I am Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, and I once again welcome you to my reviews of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is episode 5, and I was wrong. I said it would probably be a filler episode, and no, this wasn't filler. But that doesn't change the fact that it was basically massively boring. Yes, there were a lot of action set pieces here and plenty of member berries galore for the easily consuming smooth brain Stan. But it really was boring. And my outrage, again, you're not going to see me completely flip out, but my frustration this week has to center around the fact that Disney Lucasfilm is on full display here with their agenda, their narrative, how they treat characters, how they treat storytelling, which, bottom line, everything about this show, from the storytelling, the acting, the direction, the premise, it's all lazy. Everything about this show is lazy and frankly predictable. Then again, SJWs don't know how to tell stories. They only know how to express their reeing emotions. Oh man, so what do we have in store for us this week? All right. We're going to roll through the whole episode. I'm going to stop to make my commentary as we go along. We are going to witness Reva's face turn, if you even can call it that. They can't even get her face turn, her predictable face turn, her motivations. Reva's real. Oh, we'll get to it. They can't even get that right, and that's what they've clearly wanted to do so desperately. Let's see. Little girl Leia still going to save the day. Obi-Wan's going to be emasculated. Hell, every man's going to be emasculated. The Whammons get the important moments. And even though Vader gets some flashy displays, when you peel back the layers, they still manage to make Vader look like a complete imbecile. Why? Oh, I'll tell you why when we get there. Okie doke. I can't put it off any longer. Let us begin.
Are you ready?
Are you?
Then let's begin.
If you insist, Obi-Wan, we'll begin. As you can see right away, we started with member berries. I mentioned in the intro, this show is lazy on all aspects. Just look at the backdrop there. That's supposed to be Coruscant. It looks like a cheap digital painting. There's no depth. There's no reality. Nothing. It looks cheap. And therefore, it is lazy. I don't feel like I'm on Coruscant. And then, of course, as I said, here come the member berries. We're flashing back however many years ago it is to episode 2 or pre-episode 2. Oh, look, there's Hayden Christensen, really for the first time, outside of the Vader suit, outside of some practical effects makeup, outside of being a distance. There he is as Padawan Anakin. I feel nothing. Feel nothing at all. Especially because, as I said, this is lazy. Many have said from the beginning of this series, one of the ways this series could have been palatable, could have actually worked with actual original trilogy timeline. If you wanted to tell a good Obi-Wan Anakin story, do it through flashbacks. Do it through their adventures as master and apprentice, as two generals during the Clone Wars. Well, here's your member berry flashback, guys. For the entire episode, jumping in and out of it. Just Obi-Wan and Anakin having a practice duel in some chamber, someplace on Coruscant. Doesn't even look like it was in the Jedi Temple when you look at the overlay map as you will go in there. Member berries. You like the prequels, don't you? Remember Anakin Padawan? Remember long-haired Obi-Wan, who just happens to have the same length of hair that he's working with right now in this show? Yeah. Lazy. All lazy. And again, they're going back to Attack of the Clones as your memory moment for Obi-Wan and Anakin. Attack of the Clones, considered the worst of the original 6 movies. The worst. We all have our moments in it we like, but it is not the fondest remembered one. And it shows you the lazy and incompetent nature of Joby Harold and all the writers involved in this. They don't understand that people don't want to see Anakin from episode 2. They want to see Anakin during the Clone Wars, when he is no longer a Padawan. They want to see his as close to Revenge of the Sith as you could get him before his turn and his downfall. That is what people would want to see in a Member Berry flashback. No, we're stupid. We're going to go right to just Attack of the Clones, because they don't understand that that's not what people want to see. People want to see Jedi Anakin, not Padawan Anakin. So you get this opening scene. It's a lame beginning to a duel. It's going to go throughout the whole episode. It's supposed to be, it's an insight to how Anakin thinks. And now that he's Vader, he thinks the same way. That's their whole very thin, lame purpose for having this little mock duel. All right. We get this. We go through this motions. You get the opening flash, Obi-Wan. And now we get Vader. And it's Vader who's been remembering this at the start, and he's issuing his orders because now here comes Reva, and we're gonna, there's so much to unpack with Reva in this episode, but it's not here. It's not till the middle where we get to the ridiculous crap. Reva is promoted to Grand Inquisitor because they've tracked them to the planet, and they're going to go to hyperspace, and within 20 minutes, they're going to be there. Because, again, hyperspace is just instantaneous travel in Disney Star Wars. There's no concept of time at all. We skip to the pathway base. Let's remember, these are not rebels. A lot of people are conflating the issue. This is the beginning of the Rebel Alliance. No, this is simply an underground railroad to hide Force sensitives or other disenfranchised, dislocated people. This is not the Rebel Alliance. These are not rebels. These are a bunch of idiots. Plain and simple. Because here comes idiot number 1 who got us into this in the first place. As we arrive on the planet, first of all, nobody even asks, "Where's Wade?" It's Obi. We got Leia. We got her. Where's Wade, everybody? Well, Wade is dead because Wade was expendable, because we have to show death somehow in this show, because actual characters who have meaningful stories, or should have meaningful stories, are covered in impenetrable plot armor. So we arrive, and no mention of Wade. We got Leia, yay, and of course here comes moron from 1985 Hong Kong planet, played by dude from the Eternals. I don't remember his name, and I don't care about his name. Either his name in the show or name in real life. I don't like the actor, and I think this role is pathetic, because this role serves as just now the continuing example of stupid men in Disney Star Wars. So he comes here, and, what are you doing here? I have no place else to go. I see great business opportunity here. Oh my God. It's just, yes, let's show him to be completely, first, on one hand, he was so morally right to help people here, but he's still a scoundrel. Not to mention, if he knew where this place was, let's go back to episode 2. Couldn't Reva have ripped it from his mind then, and we could have skipped everything? No. Don't think, just consume. Just consume. So the Star Destroyer arrives in the middle of the evacuation. They have very little time. They were waiting for him to get back. Small window here at Star Destroyer. Now, they don't actually show us the full Star Destroyer. We just see the underside in the hangar bay. I think it's a Victory class Star Destroyer, because it doesn't seem quite big enough dimensions-wise to be an Imperial class. So I think it's a Victory class Star Destroyer. They arrive, and Vader issues the attack order, and he sends down 2 shuttles worth of troops with one little mounted gun. I'll show you that in a minute. And Reva's gonna go down as well. The whole plan is to lock them in and break Obi-Wan. That's what Vader wants. Vader wants to lock him in and break Obi-Wan. And to do that, they trigger Lola to fly up to a tiny, remember, it's on purpose, a tiny little vent size wire hub where Lola destroys the connection to the hangar door, which now slams shut, and oh no, we can't open it. It's going to take hours to break open. Oh no. So as we now start to wave our hands in despair, and Obi-Wan gives an encouraging speech. We can do this. We can fight together. Wow, you suddenly found your balls, didn't you? He's going to lose them very quickly later on. Not because he acts cowardly or anything, but because he gets his moments of heroism stolen from him, taken from him, used by the Whammons. As now Obi-Wan is trying to bolster confidence, Reva and her attack force deploy, and Moses Ingram, in her most impressive choice of diction and gravitas, issues the attack order. And they start shooting the door. Everybody's scared. And what can we do? Oh, there's a problem. I can't wirelessly fix this because, again, a mistake. Star Wars is an analog technology. There's not a lot of wireless technology going on if you look at the OT and the PT and anything in between. It's really an analog technology. So dude's standing there with this thing trying to make it work, saying, oh, I can't do it, just pushing the buttons, trying to get it open. Yeah. What are you doing? You're doing nothing. Oh, you're doing nothing because it's a setup. It's a setup for this.
Did you try going in the vents to see what's going on?
I'm a little too big to be crawling around in the vents. Would you like to try?
I'm going to need a ladder.
It's not playtime right now, princess.
Do as she asks.
Of course. We can't not have an episode where little girl Leia outshines the adults. The 10-year-old takes charge, immediately affirmed by Obi-Wan. Listen to her. I trust her. She can do it. First of all, why does Leia need so much constant affirmation? We know her future in the original trilogy. And if you keep going with the EU, Leia is competent. Leia is a good leader. Leia is a good companion. Leia is a good fighter. Leia has a bright future ahead of her. Why must we spend so much time affirming a 10-year-old girl as better than all the adults? It doesn't make any sense, at least to me. It's bad writing, bad storytelling. People do not understand the people, and by people I mean very loosely these Joby Harold and his crew of Mongoloids. They do not understand. This is not how you write a child. This is not how you write female characters in general. This isn't how you do it. You don't simply create a situation that only this child can take care of because, again, lazy, bad storytelling. How retarded is it that this wire hub has been built where only a tiny little child could fit in there? You would think they would have it constructed so an adult could make repairs to it. No. Don't think, just consume. Do not take a moment to understand the logistics, the reality of how things are built and how things need to be maintained. And this clearly is not a professional base. So they built this on the fly. You think they would have constructed that little wire hub with easy access to make repairs, since that's the only hangar bay door they got. Don't think, just consume. Bad writing, lazy writing. Let's create a single situation that only Leia can solve. And then let's do the usual affirmation routine and show how great she is. Have to give her something to do because there's action coming. And I guess even they realized they couldn't really put Leia into an action sequence. That would be a step too far. Well, this whole show is a step too far. But we're not done yet. Well, we're done with Leia for the moment. Oh, there's more Leia. Don't worry, we got more Leia for you later. Obi-Wan gets a little blip on his communicator, says, keep working hard, everybody. I have to take care of this. Goes and, long story short, it's a message from Bail Organa, basically setting up the next episode. This one little blip of a message sets everything up for the final episode of the season. Bail Organa reveals he's afraid, and in case Obi-Wan fails, I will go to Tatooine to make sure the boy hides because we cannot let him, Vader, discover the existence of the children. Again, we continue the pattern of Disney Lucasfilm, Disney Star Wars, showing men to be incompetent. Only the women seem to be able to get something done. You notice right now, Reva has failed upwards into Grand Inquisitor. Leia's taking control of the situation to make sure they can all escape. Leia's going to save the day. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan gives a little bit of a speech, but in the end, the Whammons are getting things done. And again, the Whammons now take center stage. This whole episode, when you take a really close look at it, all the powerful moments are centralized on the Whammons. Girl power, woo! Because as he finishes his little message from Bail, who again now incompetent male, revealing too much critical information over a HoloNet sent message. Wow. Just wow. I'm going to Tatooine to make sure the boy is safe. Remember that, folks. Remember that. Here comes Spy Talawhammon, who for no reason decides to give her complete backstory, or to finish her backstory. Basically, exposition. I betrayed the Empire because they made me kill Force-sensitive families one too many times. I couldn't take it anymore. Therefore, I dedicated my life now to making sure these people escape to make up for it. Okay. Spy Talawhammon has now given her full backstory. She is now going to be registered as expendable. Yes, we're coming to that. You can see it. The moment you give that kind of heartwarming story in a situation like this, you've got expendable written all over you. Because everybody in this show, again, because of lazy writing, lazy, incompetent storytelling, everything's got plot armor. Every single person has plot armor. I'm sorry, let me phrase that. Everybody important has plot armor. Everybody else is expendable. Got ahead of myself, twisting my mind around. This show is scrambling my brain. Ugh. Reva's assault is going to break through, but they need more time. They need more time. Obi-Wan decides to buy them more time. In a moment of clarity and thinking, I'm going to do something tactical, and I'm going to have a conversation with Reva to buy us the time. And here it comes, folks. Their attempt to make you sympathize with Reva.
Unless you were there.
It doesn't matter where I was.
The night of Order 66, you were a youngling. That's how you knew you saw him.
Stop.
Anakin killed the others.
That's enough.
He killed the other younglings,
Enough.
but somehow you...
Enough!
This conversation that I'm about to describe to you is the bait and switch of Obi-Wan Kenobi in full effect, on full display. They want you to think, with a lot of flashy member berries and, I'm going to say, a poorly choreographed moments in this episode, that this is really about Anakin and Obi-Wan. And these events playing out about a lesson that Master Obi-Wan once tried to teach Padawan Anakin about being too aggressive and, ironically, wanting too much affirmation and vindication from the world. That's what they want you to think. But no. Because when you look at that little plot as it's spread out like butter over too much bread in this episode, it's very thin. It's very transparent, and it's very one-dimensional. But then here comes the story they really want you to focus on. Reva's mission. Reva's reasons for doing everything. And again, Reva and all the other women's get the big moments in this episode. Handed to them by the men. In some cases, they take it from the men. Disney Lucasfilm, Disney Star Wars agenda on the march. Ironically, without the Imperial March being played, because they continue to fail with music in this episode, but we'll come back to that later. This conversation is supposed to be Reva's face turn, because as you saw in that clip, Obi-Wan puts it together that she was there on the night of Order 66. Get the flashback as she doesn't want to remember it. No, be quiet again. Moses Ingram can't act. Her emote is flat, and her diction is terrible. And there's no connection. Remember what I said in the beginning of this entire review series. That opening scene of the night at Order 66. They wanted you to connect with little girl Reva, with youngling Reva. They want you to have that emotional connection. They want you to care more about her than anything else because it's her story they're excited to tell. Remember, in all the information we've heard, they want you to know her story. They're excited to tell her story. Well, here's her story, folks. Reva should have been killed by Anakin. Obi-Wan puts the piece together. Like I said, she was there. She saw Anakin cutting people down. Therefore, that makes him Darth Vader? Wait. We're now back to that. Reva knows that Anakin is Darth Vader because of the night of Order 66 at the Jedi Temple. That is really taking a very large logical leap of headcanon. Because unless a clone trooper said while she was playing dead, because she admits to be playing dead, unless a clone trooper said Lord Vader, there is no way she should know Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. At that point, we are within when Order 66 is initiated, and Anakin, now being called Darth Vader by Emperor Palpatine. It's been minutes. I don't think the word has gone out to the clone troopers that he's to be referred to as Darth Vader. He would still be called General Skywalker at that point, logically thinking. There has been no announcement he is Lord Vader. So unless you take that leap of headcanon, you must then take a second, even larger leap of headcanon and therefore fill in the holes of the bad storytelling, which is what Joby Harold and his hardling crew of writers need the stands to do in order to support this. A clone trooper would have had to said, okay, Lord Vader, right after he stabs, and again, we're going to come back to that in a second, stabs Reva and leaves her to die, supposedly dead. All done for a moment later in the episode. We're going to come back to this again. I mean, this is how thin and lame the storytelling is, and it's lazy and it's dumb. So it doesn't make any sense, logically thinking that Reva would put the pieces together that he's Vader. Because at that point, all you see is Anakin, who she knew existed, because she knew who Obi-Wan was. Because during the conversation now, She says, "Where were you?" "Oh, I don't know. I was busy fighting and getting shot off the side of a cliff when this happened. That's where I was. I was defeating General Grievous. I was actually doing my job. I wasn't supposed to be at the Jedi Temple. I was a field general in all of this." So she does the accusation of "Where were you?" without flat out saying it's all your fault, but basically insinuating it's all Obi-Wan's fault. He didn't protect me. And basically then Obi-Wan says, "You're hunting him. You became an Inquisitor so you could hunt Anakin as Vader and get your revenge for destroying the only family she ever had." Her own words. He took everything from me. The only family I ever had." Well, that's kind of what Darth Vader does. How about, let's take a moment. How about all the terror and horrible things you've done to people and their families in pursuit of your vengeance? "Oh, but Adam, she's been consumed by the dark side." Well, then why don't we talk about being consumed by the dark side? You notice they talk about this stuff, no mention of being consumed by the dark side. And here's the horrible, horrible thing in a moment when we get to it. Again, the breaking of Obi-Wan. This leads to a breaking of his character. This is and how a Jedi should not behave. I know I've droned on and on about this, but this conversation, this is the face turn, everybody, or at least the beginning of it, where you saw Reva, all the horrible things she's done was so that she could kill Vader, because Vader's such a monster, and of course Vader needs to be stopped. The justification, it hurts. The loops and the mountains they expect us to climb, the hoops they expect us to jump through, everything they expect us to do to accept that this is okay behavior from a character who they want us to love. They want us. They need to think, oh, Reva had to watch all her friends and family be massacred as a youngling, and so she's perfectly justified in going after Vader in the way she has, causing terror for countless other families along the way. We have to move on. We'll come back. So just remember that during the flashback now, Anakin stabs her. Okay? Stabs her. And so she took a lightsaber to the gut and lived. Negotiations break down as Reba stabs her saber through the door and starts to cut it open, and Obi-Wan retreats, and the battle ensues. Battle ensues. We get a moment of, "Leia, are you done yet?" "Still working on it." This would be a moment where you would expect Obi-Wan to maybe become Obi-Wan and do some heroic things. He clearly can use the Force because he does a Force wave, knocks them all back so he can retreat a bit, gather up with the other morons to do a last stand. He's clearly got some Force muscles again. He's got it half-mast at this point. It's not complete limb, but it's at half-mast. He should be able to do some heroic shit. His lightsaber's out. He's ready to go. Nope, sorry. He's going to be in purely defensive form. Just blocking laser bolts. Taking out a stormtrooper if they get too close. Because here we go. Remember what I said about how the men in Disney Star Wars, run by Disney Lucasfilm, how they are continually emasculated. They are continually run down. Well, Obi-Wan and all the other people here pathetically fight this losing battle, which they've all agreed was going to be losing all the way. And that's truth. The Empire has numbers and tech on them. But Obi-Wan does nothing spectacular. He continually falls back. Meanwhile, Spy Woman Tala, and right up until this point, I remarked to myself while I was watching it, she's kind of just standing out in the open shooting. And there's a lot of fight going on here, a lot of crossfire. Nobody really getting taken out a lot. It's a lot of bad aiming. And the Stormtrooper meme continues. But I'm thinking to myself, whoa, Spy Woman Tala, she's just kind of standing there. Have they given her plot armor? Nope. As soon as I thought that, she takes a shot to the gut. And at the same time, loading droid, who is her best friend, is also getting beat up by shots. He's just standing there too. And as he's getting with his last bit of energy, he collapses in front of her for temporary cover. And then, well, basically now she gets the heroic sacrifice moment where she does the hero thing like this.
May the Force be with you.
Let's not have Obi-Wan be a hero. Let's not have Obi-Wan be a hero and save the day and get everybody out of there with minimal losses. No. Let's have Spy Woman Tala take the significant hero moment instead and sacrifice herself with a thermal detonator so that everybody can escape. That's essentially what she does. I said it earlier in the video. They work very hard to overlay we're giving you a great Anakin Obi-Wan memorabilia, whatever you want to say, story here. And it's playing out the lesson Obi-Wan was trying to teach Anakin is playing out here. But if you've noticed now, we are more than halfway through the episode. Obi-Wan hasn't actually done a single heroic thing. Leia has taken charge, and also remember, no man has done a significantly heroic thing. Leia has taken charge, and she has on her shoulders the fate of everybody getting the hangar doors open. The paper-thin story of Anakin and Obi-Wan has been subverted and switched with it's actually Reva's story, because now we know her motivations. And it's about to get worse. It's about to get worse. And now, heroic moment where Obi-Wan could have saved a lot of people in a grand display of Force mastery and lightsaber skill. No. Instead, no, as Spy Tala Woman blows herself up to buy them more time. Now, let me ask you this. Again, let's think about this for a second. That was a thermal detonator. One of the most powerful handheld explosives in the Star Wars universe. That should have brought the entire tunnel down. No. All it did was cause a bright flash of light explosion where Reva and the stormtroopers had to back off, and Obi-Wan has a moment behind the sealed door. So in the moment of a savior situation, a heroic saving situation, it is immediately made faulty by a lack of logic put into the thought of an explosive device going off in what is essentially a rock tunnel and not causing a cave-in. Don't think, just consume. Reva has momentarily stopped her assault because of the explosion. Obi-Wan realizes that they're not going to win. And again, we're getting the overlay of his lesson that he's trying to teach Anakin about being too aggressive and how there's more than one way to fight. Obi-Wan has a quick conversation with Idiot Scoundrel, where he gives Idiot Scoundrel his blaster, his lightsaber, and his holocommunication device. Remember that. And the guy's going, it's desperate. You can't fight all them. And Obi-Wan says, oh, there's more than one way to fight. I know how Vader thinks. I know how this will make it work. You can't, I know how it works. Don't worry. And for a moment, you think this is intelligent. And that's, again, the snow job, the bait and switch of you think you're getting Obi-Wan, but you're getting Nobi-Wan. Nobi-Wan turns himself over to Reva, where he says to her, now, she has said, I don't need anybody's help. I've done this all on my own for so long. This is a moment. If they had actually done some Star Wars research, made you want to feel like you're actually in a Star Wars show with Star Wars issues and themes, this would be a conversation about light side versus dark side, how Reva should turn away from the dark side, that she should join them and begin her journey back from everything she's done. Nope. Sorry. Not going to happen. Instead, Nobi-Wan destroys the character of Obi-Wan by feeding into her revenge. You heard me. While he's on his knees, although he's sounding like he's in control, he's destroying the character of Obi-Wan, removing the control, removing the beloved factors and facets of a powerful Jedi who believes in peace and justice and democracy and doing the right thing. No. He, in a selfish move, which granted, one would think one would possibly do, but this is a Jedi Master who's trying to come to grips with things. He's going to feed into a dark Jedi's, not a Sith. Reva is not a Sith. Remember that. A dark Jedi's revenge fantasy. Her revenge dream. I'm going to let her, as Nobi-Wan, I'm going to let her go face Vader when you know damn well there's no way she's going to beat Darth Vader. Let's go through the checkbox of fail with that right there. Checkbox 1. Obi-Wan not behaving like a Jedi, allowing a dark Jedi to continue to do dark side actions, and basically affirming all the dark side action she has done for the past 10 years as, okay, it's going to get you close enough to get Vader. It's not what a Jedi does. Okay, checkbox of fail number 2. I'm doing something extremely horrible by knowingly sending this girl to die. Well, you expect her to die because this is Darth freaking Vader. And in their own stupid little fake fan fiction continuity that is Disney Star Wars, Obi-Wan has already faced Vader. He knows how strong he is at this point. He would know that Reva would not stand a chance. So he is willingly, instead of choosing to try and save her soul, to save her force soul, I guess we can call it, to save her from being forever trapped physically and then spiritually in the dark side. Instead of trying to convince her to come with them, no, I'm going to send you off to your death, or what should be your death. Fail number 2. And then story fail number 3. No, this is not an Obi-Wan fail. This is a story fail. Reva then, of course, just sends him away. You would think somebody there would ask the question, wait a minute, we've got what we came here for. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why don't we just leave him right here where Vader is now? He's en route. His shuttle is en route. No. Nobody questions when Reva sends him with just 2 stormtroopers back behind the blast door. Where Obi-Wan quickly gets rid of his captors and scurries away. Because meanwhile, while all this is going on, Leia has a little struggle with Lola, who tries to stop her from fixing it. And oh, look, Leia discovers the little pip that Reva at some point placed inside of Lola. So, oh no, Adam's been proven wrong. Oh, look, that's what Reva did. That's how Reva changed Lola's programming. It still doesn't change to the facts that, one, how did she get it back into Leia's jacket pocket? There was never a moment to do that. And two, her plan to let them all be escape in the first place. Well, it was her plan because, look, she was working against Vader all along. Yeah, I'm going to unravel that in a couple moments. Just stick with me, please. All right. Leia then fixes everything. She does it. Yay! Leia was great. The hangar doors open. Everybody's piling into the ship. Obi-Wan comes back. Meanwhile, as they're escaping, everybody's loading onto the ship. Stupid scoundrel guy drops Obi-Wan's communicator. I know. Once you see it drop, you realize, oh, damn. Here comes episode 6. Everybody piles onto the ship. Obi-Wan has gotten them the time they need. But here comes Vader. Vader storms very slowly and methodically down the tunnel until everybody seems to have escaped. And then, well, this happens. The ship starts to take off, and in a grand display of force muscle, Vader grabs it. Now, size matters not. Size matters not. I'm okay. I am okay with that. That is a force move that Vader is perfectly capable of. Pulling it down to the ground, okay, but this is the flashy display. Now, watch this here. Vader muscles it down, rips off the hull to discover nobody's in there, and then a second ship, which we hadn't really seen for the entire episode, but was kind of hiding in the corner, then quickly launches away. Joby Harold and his team of, I need another word. I'll just flash out retards. And his team of retards, again, don't seem to understand the physics or the force. Vader would have sensed where the life forms were in the room. He would have sensed there was no life on that ship. I don't care if they're all in the same hangar bay. He would have sensed that that ship had no life signs on it. And the other life signs are in another ship. He would have sensed that. Oh, but he's so full of anger and rage, he wouldn't feel it. The Force he's enveloped in the Force at this point. He would have sensed it. Okay, so Force failed, though they still understand how the Force works. Secondly, why couldn't Vader have just grabbed the other ship the same way he grabbed the first one as it was lifting off? The other one, again, now look at the fail in the physics. That one really rapidly, just at an impossible angle, zoomed right out of the hangar. Cold start. A cold start. The other ship was not powered up. You could see it in that screen cap here. We'll go back to here. Look, the other ship, you can see it while that one's there. It isn't powered up. So in about in a fraction of a second, it powered up, was able to rev full thrusters and zoom at an impossible angle out of the hangar. And Vader couldn't have tried to catch it the way he just got that one as it was lifting off. Don't think, just consume. Now, really don't think and consume as we get this next revelation. As I said before, Obi-Wan has knowingly sent Reva to fight Vader, a fight he knows she cannot win, all with intention to distract and delay Vader so that he and the escapees can get the hell out. Well, Reva tries to gank Vader from behind, but of course, I was thinking to myself, he's got a sensor. Boom, Vader senses her. Now, what we get, one would think, would be a great moment of action. Vader action, something people really want to see a lot of. Massive, shiny, jangling key. What you get here now is indeed a display of Vader completely outclassing and overpowering Reva, which is the way it should be. But one, the choreography sucks. They don't really have a lightsaber duel. It's a lot of Vader force repelling all of Reva's strikes and simply force muscling her around. And when they do duel a little bit, the choreography stinks. Cutting to the chase, Reva loses. Reva loses spectacularly, which is a great thing. You should be going, oh, Adam, you should be happy. Vader dominates her. Well, in winning, Vader also loses because they once again destroy the character of Darth Vader. Well, here's where it begins.
Did you really believe I did not see it, youngling? You are of no further use.
There is so much to unpack from this. We start with the moment before that little line. And you'll notice one thing about Darth Vader throughout this whole episode. He speaks in single lines, never really strings more than one sentence together. Right before this, he is just stabbed Reva with a lightsaber. Run her through. Much the same way as we learn through her quick overlay of memories, the way as Anakin, he stabbed her as a youngling. What does it take to kill anybody with a lightsaber in this show when they get run through? Because you can see right here, the Grand Inquisitor walks in. He's alive. Oh, look, he didn't break the canon. Look, how about we explain things? No, don't explain anything. Just think and consume. Well, this is Disney Star Wars canon. It doesn't make sense anyway. So this is now the second time he has stabbed Reva in her lifetime. And we'll come back to that in a second. So she gets stabbed, and he gives the speech, basically revealing through the Grand Inquisitor, who gets more of a monologue than Vader does. I mean, how ridiculous is that? They have more of a monologue from the Grand Inquisitor than they do of Darth Vader. Basically, we now reveal that they always knew she was a youngling survivor from the Jedi Temple, and that she had always planned to try and kill Darth Vader for her vengeance. Just let that sink in for a moment. The stands are busy going, look how awesome Vader was. How can you hate that? If you hate what Vader did, you hate Star Wars. You're not a real Star Wars fan. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to hear that. You're going to hear that. I'm going to hear it. We're all going to hear that because that's their one note defense. What we just witnessed was a giant, jangly, shiny key to distract you from the fact that in a single line, they once again eviscerate the character of Darth Vader. He knew all along, then he allowed her continued failures and destruction of Imperial property, costing probably millions, maybe even billions of credits. The destruction of Fortress Inquisitorius. I still cannot get over that name. Let that happen. Who knows what else she's probably destroyed along her path of vengeance. You're telling me Darth Vader is so obsessed with Obi-Wan that he just lets it all happen? I'm sorry. No. They hate these characters that George Lucas made. They just do. We've got a Vader who knowingly and willingly lets all this horrible destruction happen to Imperial forces that he needs to get the job done. He just let it happen. I'm sorry, but it's inconceivable to me. It's inconceivable. And then we bring in, the Grand Inquisitor. How did you survive that lightsaber gank 4 episodes ago? It's happened. No reason, no explanation. His only explanation, you will find that the desire for revenge is a strong motivation to survive. Well, then tell me this. She's now been stabbed twice through the gut by a lightsaber. You got stabbed through the gut by a lightsaber. Why are you all leaving her lying there to die? I don't know. Because we're stupid and we need her to do something even dumber in the following episode? They just leave her there. And just hold on to that again for a moment. They just walk away and leave her thinking she's just going to lie there. Die. You think Vader would understand you don't leave somebody behind like Obi-Wan left him behind. You finish the job. Darth Vader, actual real Darth Vader, would have finished the job right there. Snapped her neck with a force twinge, took her head off with another saber slash. He would have actually finished the job. He wouldn't leave her there. If anybody knows how hatred and anger can be used to survive through the Force, it would be him, because he did it. No, I'm going to leave her there. Again, dumb Darth Vader. This is dumb. This is stupid. And they walk away. And I'm going to think, took every single transport with them. That there's no transports, no ships left on this world.
All too easy.
We now come together with a bunch of stupid plot threads that for reasons all tie together and now push us to the final episode. Remember when I mentioned the whole communication from Bail Organa, which has been dropped? Well, Reva finds it on the ground. At first, I thought Vader was going to find it, and that was really going to break the lore open, but this is still equally as stupid, if you ask me. Now, Reva manages to get it to work. She seems to be doing just fine after having just been stabbed a few seconds ago by a lightsaber. Forget it. She's a trooper. She can handle it. She manages to make it work again, and Bail reveals with just a few tidbits of recovered information everything she needs to know to realize the importance of Tatooine and Owen Lars, who she has met and threatened 5 episodes ago. Plot and reasons. Oh, look. Oh, isn't it cool how it tied together? How she faced down Owen Lars and he withstood it in episode 1. And now she's going to go back there and... Oh, it's called symmetry, you grifter. No, it's called bad storytelling. And conveniently creating this scenario where Reva will now return to Tatooine and discover Luke. Because as she's doing this, Obi-Wan has a bad feeling about this, although he doesn't actually say it, that something's wrong. And then when asked something's wrong, he starts to say something's terribly wrong, but then says, oh no, it's fine, don't worry about it. Because they've got bigger problems. The hyperdrive on the transport ship doesn't want to work. So they're stuck with a Star Destroyer gaining. Hey, Joby. Lawrence Kasdan and George Lucas want their plot device from Empire Strikes Back returned in pristine condition when you're done with it. Okay, good job. Let's see. Obi-Wan has a bad feeling that maybe he shouldn't have left Tatooine because the final shot is of little boy Luke asleep in bed. And we're going to come back to that in the recap in a moment. But there you go. That's episode. Thanks, Deborah Chow. Thanks, Joby Harold.
You're a great warrior, Anakin. But you'll need to prove yourself as your undoing. Until you overcome it, a Padawan you will still be.
That final line from the Memberberry flashback that they want you to think is the actual storyline of what's going on here, that is, oh man, that is their end goal. Bait and switch, subversion, manipulation of lines, text, quotes, whatever you want to call it. We spent this whole episode under the illusion that it was about a memory of Vader and Obi-Wan when they were Master and Padawan, sharing that memory of Anakin trying to learn the lesson of not being too aggressive, not wanting validation and acceptance from everybody over just being thoughtful, taking the time to think and assess the situation. That line at the end there is a manipulation of I was the learner, now I am the master. because they think they're being clever in two ways. One, by showing you that Vader still kind of lost to Obi-Wan because he hasn't learned that lesson yet that Anakin failed to learn. So that's why Obi-Wan was able to get away. So they're still manipulating that line, trying to say how it still fits in original trilogy canon when it doesn't. Two, they think they're clever that we didn't notice the bait and switches all over this show. That flashback duel of memberberry juice. It was, as I said earlier, too little butter spread across too much bread, too thin. So thin. Because all the moments in the end are usurped by the whammons. Again, said earlier, Leia takes control. Constantly in command for a 10-year-old. Always has the right answer, always can outthink adults, always is more thoughtful. Collected, doesn't freak out. Has a plan. Can save the day on multiple occasions. As opposed to her brother, who's just asleep in bed, not a care in the world. Leia's been through so many tough adventures. Luke's just been asleep. And I am going to wager big time, and I could be proven wrong next week, but I'm going to take the chance that when Luke is confronted now with the eventual arrival of Reva on Tatooine, because it's been set up, how she's going to get there, I don't know. She's going to conveniently find another ship. She's conveniently not dead from the kind of stab wound that killed Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace that should have killed the Inquisitor. No, she's a trooper. She's going to be okay. She's somehow going to get there. And I predict that when we get there, Luke is going to be a cowardly little boy. As one should be at 10 years old when faced with somebody coming at you with a lightsaber. Or as Reva is going to initially probably try and use him as leverage against Vader to draw him in. But then have a change of heart and complete her very pathetically constructed face turn, which again, subversion, bait and switch. We were supposed to get Obi-Wan doing cool shit, having revelations, having a thoughtful tug of war on his feelings for Anakin and Vader. No, instead we got Reva's pathetic backstory, which really is pathetic and sad. And also it kind of, again, cucks Anakin that he couldn't even kill a youngling who he stabbed. How does she survive a lightsaber stab wound when all the other younglings took slashes and stabs and went down? How did she survive? You know, why not give us at least half an episode on that so it makes sense? But no, Joby Harold can't think past his nose because that's as far as he can see because the guy doesn't have a creative ounce of energy in his entire body. No. So we get Reva's story and her pathetic face and that she's doing everything because it's her mission of revenge to stop Vader, who's destroyed so much. So it was okay that you destroyed so much. It's then okay for Obi-Wan to forgive her, not try and save her tainted Force soul, to turn her away from dark side abilities and dark side path. No. I'm Obi-Wan, and I'm going to send you to your probable death against Darth Vader. I'm not going to try and turn you back to the light side. I'm going to act selfishly, not the Jedi way. And then, of course, we cannot forget Spy Whammon Tala, who again gets the heroic ultimate sacrifice moment just to make Obi-Wan look pathetic and all the other men look pathetic. So you realize every single Whammon in this episode did something spectacular or tried to or had the feel-good moment with Reva. Like, we're supposed to connect with Reva because she was so traumatized and had such a hard childhood. We're supposed to connect with her. No, we haven't connected with her for 2 or 3 major reasons. One, she's a bad character. And her survival, and when you see during the Obi-Wan refugee scene a collection of lightsabers, how effective was Order 66 in the end? Lots of Jedi apparently kept surviving. In the movie, in the actual canon and lore, looks like that initial beginning of the Purge was pretty damn effective when you killed every Jedi Master out there and everybody that was still in the temple. And yeah, there were going to be outliers. That's why the Jedi purges existed. That's why Vader And the 501st went out there and, in actual Star Wars canon lore, purged, hunted them down one at a time, didn't use Inquisitors. Dave Filoni bullshit. This is bad storytelling. Plain and simple. They cannot actually logically expect us to think any of this works. Because they don't think logically. They just do things for reasons. Like having younglings all wear those stupid blast shield helmets, when those are for one specific type of training, to block your vision so you can use the Force to predict where the blaster bolt is going to be. It's not something they all just wear all the time, Joby Harold. They wouldn't wear it when doing some martial exercises. It's not not part of the youngling uniform. It's a tool for a specific exercise. These people do not understand Star Wars. What they understand is, like I said, agenda. They understand having all the women look perfect and all the men look incompetent and stupid. Obi-Wan does absolutely nothing except push a woman to fight Darth Vader in his place. Maybe he was cowardly. Yeah, I guess that's kind of cowardly. Every other guy there either drops important things that he was told to hold on to, or is pretty ineffective, can't fix a simple wire thing, have to let a little girl go do it. And then conveniently, plot devices happen that will just move things along to the final episode. Where I swear to God, if Vader sets foot on Tatooine, that's going to be ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. And if you're defending this, boy, if you're someone who really thinks this is good, and not just, I know it's bad, but I'm enjoying it anyway, that I can accept. And I've had a conversation where that has come up. I can accept that. They know it's not good. They know it's not real Star Wars, but they're like, okay, I'm just passing the time with it, and I'm sucking it up because I enjoy it for what it is. That I accept. But if somebody trying to defend that this is real Star Wars, that this makes sense, lined up with all the canon, it doesn't. None of this makes sense. All it has been is a destruction of Obi-Wan and a continued destruction of not only Anakin Skywalker now, but as Darth Vader as well, because Darth Vader let it all happen. Oh, he was a mastermind. He figured it out the whole time. Then why let all the destruction happen? It doesn't make any sense. Then again, in actual canon lore, Vader wasn't hunting Obi-Wan for 19 years. He did his business hunting the Purge and then went about bringing order to his new empire. This show is pathetic. It's dumb. Joby Harold doesn't know what he's doing as a writer. And Deborah Chow definitely still doesn't know what she's doing as a director. We got one more episode to go. And I think it'll only get worse. That being said, I'm done. Thank you for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, share it around. Please comment away because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Stans, if you're still here, I don't care what you have to say because you're insane and all cowards behind keyboards. Plain and simple. All right, thank you again for watching. Take it easy, and I will see you next week with episode 6. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therentnerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.